how to do Bokashi composting. First, what is Bokashi? Bokashi is a type of composting that originated in Korea. It is widely used in Japan as well. It's a natural farming method, and it basically is different than regular composting because you're fermenting your compost instead. And to do that, we seal off all the air, and we're going to add microbes that help it ferment. Why do we want to use Bokashi? Why not just use regular compost? Well, when we ferment our compost, we're actually unlocking a lot of nutrients that plants really enjoy. You may have heard that eating kimchi or sauerkraut is good for your digestive system. As it turns out, pickling our compost is good for the plant's digestive system in a way, in that it unlocks more nutrients and more microorganisms are able to feed on the material, and that makes the soil really happy. Okay, so here's the materials that we're going to need for this project. We need 2 buckets and only 1 lid. We need Bokashi bran, and you can buy this online. You can actually make this yourself too. You can Google how. We chose to buy this pre-mixed ready online, although we may be making our own in the future. But basically Bokashi bran is just rice hulls that have been fermented, so they're already inoculated or inundated with microorganisms that are going to ferment our mixture. So this is the magic ingredient here. Okay, and then we also have some composting scraps that we're going to throw in our bucket. And this was my lunch, actually. And then inside the bucket, we're going to need a way to seal it off, because you want the least amount of air as possible. So we're just using a sheet of wax paper, but you can also use like a plastic plate or a piece of metal or something, just so you can have an inner seal inside your bucket. You're also going to need a drill, because we're going to poke holes in one of our buckets. But first, if you're going to be using any power tools, always make sure that you have a pair of safety glasses, because safety is cool. This is ridiculous. You're right. I can't. Okay. You can't. There. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is drill holes into the bottom of only one of our buckets. Don't drill holes into both of them. We have 6 holes poked into the bottom here, and we are ready to insert the one with the holes into the one with no holes. So the idea is we throw the veggies in here, and then the juices will be able to flow out into the bottom bucket. Okay, so now we are ready to put in our vegetable scraps. You can also use yard waste. Really, the Bokashi bucket can take just about anything. In fact, it can take more than a regular compost, because you can throw meat in here, you can throw bones in here, any kind of food waste product. The only thing that you don't want to add to the Bokashi bucket is anything really liquidy or anything really moldy. So if you have a really rotten sandwich that you've unearthed from the back of your fridge, do not put that in here, because the organisms that live in the Bokashi bucket are going to have a hard time competing with already well-established mold populations. So just no liquids and no mold, but anything else goes pretty much. So we have my leftover lunch here. I'm going to toss that in. You can also throw in your soiled paper, cardboard, any of that. I'm tearing mine up because the smaller that you make it, the bits that go in, the quicker it'll decompose. And then we have some garden material here. So I'm just going to put that in. Okay. And now, to finish this process, we're going to add a little bit of Bokashi bran. And as a general rule of thumb, you want to add, for every 1 to 2 inches of material that you add, you want to add approximately half a cup of the bran. It looks like we didn't really add too much to start, so I'm just going to give it about a 1/4 cup sprinkling here. You just want to make sure everything is covered nicely. Okay, the next step is adding the inner seal. So we have this wax paper here, but like I said, you can use pretty much anything, because just the goal is to make it nice and airtight. Bokashi does not want any airflow, and you want to compress it down step is just adding our lid. Just make sure that's nice and tight. You can keep adding material to your Bokashi bin until it is full. Just make sure that you're adding Bokashi bran in between every layer of material that you're adding to your bucket. And after a couple of weeks of it doing its job, it might start to look pretty ugly like this one, but that's okay, that's good, it means it's working. Just know that Bokashi does not smell like a typical compost. The microbes actually are not stinky, so because of that, you can actually keep your bin inside. Thanks for watching. We will get into what to do with the products that you make next time in our next video. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.